Hello, I was playing some 25 cent, 50 cent no limit cash game earlier this morning on PokerStars, and I just wanted to run through a hand that I thought was pretty interesting that resulted. So right now, as you can see, I am under the gun with the ace five of spades, and I have about just over $69 on the table, where the max bind is 50. There are four other stacks that are right around the max bind of $50, and one stack, Go Poppy Go, who has almost $100. He had doubled up off of another big stack who had just left the table. So right here, I'm gonna kind of run through this hand and talk through it and show you why I did what I did. So first of all, I did have ace five of spades. Usually I wanna see flops with this type of hand. Sometimes I'll raise, sometimes I will limp. This time I decide to just limp and see the action behind me. Because I'm under the gun, I don't always limp under the gun because people think, oh, he's limping under the gun. He either has a monster or he just wants to get in cheap. This time though, I just felt like, let's see the action behind me and evaluate from there. So I make the call. Everything folds pretty much to Go Poppy Go, who raises to $2.50. Everybody folds back to me, and I decide, okay, I got to make this call to see a flop. Flop really hits me hard. It becomes 5, 5, deuce with two diamonds. Now, of course, I'm a little worried, so I decided to make a come out bet, and I get raised. And I decide, well, I put this guy on an overpair right there, so I put another raise in before the turn. I come out and bet big on the turn, and the board could make a straight flush, but I decide, you know what, I'm already pot committed. I push it all in. I got the fives full of fours, and fortunately he did not have a straight flush and only showed on aces. And I take a big pot and get called donk after this for making a call like that pre-flop. Now I'm going to run through it again and just kind of more in depth, talk. I don't have to talk about the action of the hand, but why I would do what I did. So if I can play this hand again here. Like I said, I like to see a lot of flops, especially with hands that can make the nuts. I got a nut flush draw. I could make a straight flush. Mostly I don't want a hidden ace. It's probably not good if I get raised by a guy on the button. But with a button raise, anything can happen. Now a lot of people might be like, "Ooh, I got trips. I'm gonna check raise him." For there though, especially with the flush draw, he could have ace king of diamonds. But once he called my re-raise after the flop, I knew he had to have the big pair. If he had pocket deuces and had a full house, I think he would have wanted to get it all in, pretty much on the turn, because he knew I was going to be committed at that point. So it just shows you a guy that has pocket aces cannot fold pocket aces no matter what. Maybe I disguised my hand by betting with my trips. I don't know what he put me on. Maybe he put me on an overpair. I think he'd have to. The way I played it, there's a flush out there. I got to bet my, I can't take the chance. But once I re-raised, if I was him, I'd think, you know what, maybe he did flop deuces full of fives, or maybe he did flop a five, or what kind of hand could he have put me on that I would have called a re-raise pre-flop. Now, of course, ace five of spades, I'm one of those players that will take a chance to see a flop because I feel like if I hit it, I can get the rest of his stack in the middle of the pot. I kind of like how the way I bet this board, as I'll run it through again. I came out and bet 250 on the flop, which is, less than half the pot, but I wanted to get a bet in there, and he min-raised me, so I'm like, okay, either he's bluffing totally, or he's got an overpair. That's what or maybe he did have the deuces, like I said. So I thought then, what do? I want to re-raise, so I made it 15 to go. I was trying to build the pot enough, so when I did get the money all in, I wouldn't having to bet over the pot to get it in. As you can see, the turn, there's $35, and I bet 23 of the pot, which is, between half and 3/4 of the pot. And then the river with the pot almost at $82, I pretty much pot committed him with my $29 bet on the river, and he paid me off with his aces. He did have the ace of diamonds, but of course that's irrelevant since the turn was not the 4 diamonds, which could have gave him a straight flush draw. So I guess that's it for now on this hand. Like I said, it was a well played hand by me, and I think I confused him a lot by my betting pattern, but he never really decided after the flop that I could have hit it big, and so he just decided to call me until he doubled me up. All right, thanks everybody.